We'll just go for 2 mil, see what they come back with, and obviously I don't want to annoy them and make the deal fall through. And there we go, Liam Delap. That was rather easy. Alright guys, welcome to another episode of the Derby County Live. And to start off this episode, we did of course sign Daryl DK in the previous episode. Obviously did really well in his debut, scored a couple of goals, which is nice to see. And yeah, I think the other position that we'll look to improve is either a kind of a right mid, but I'm also tempted to just keep Babaselli and maybe develop him. But I think we do need an extra striker, just somebody with a bit of pace, so that's what we're going to look for on the market. So I've added a few players here that can tick those boxes in terms of just pacey forwards, really. We've got Dane Scarlett from Spurs, Harvey Elliott, a bit more of a winger on that right-hand side, but I'll just see if we can get him on a loan option. Liam Delap, of course, did used to play for Derby's academy, and yeah, I would quite like to bring him back, especially now that he's got his scanned face, which is quite nice. But he's kind of similar to what Daryl DK is, so in a way it's probably better to go for someone like Dane Scarlett, just so there's someone a little bit more different. We do have Felix Mabimbi from the Swiss League, Young Boys. Not really heard of him, but apparently he's got really good pace, agility and balance. Do have Stephen Ade here, but unfortunately I think he's on loan somewhere, so we can't pick him up at the minute. Andy Varman did used to play for Derby, can play down the middle or on the right hand side, so logically this one makes a little bit of sense. Same with Ricky J. Jones, of course, championship player, and the only thing about him is obviously he doesn't have the scanned face, so I think that's what we'll look for. I don't know if I want to... What I'll do, I think I'll leave him there for now. We'll simulate up to the Barnsley game and just see if we get any further information, just so I know, what kind of value they've got and whatnot. We do have quite a couple of interesting offers here for Stretton and Lawrence, but I think I will probably reject them because they're two players that I don't really want to let go at this point. Also have Benito Rahman, again, really good pace, 86, maybe 85, somewhere around there. Maybe a little bit too old though at 27. It's one of those where he's not really going to develop, but we do have a very big offer here for Lee Buchanan of 3.1 million. But again, I think he's one player that I just don't think I'll ever let go, Lee Buchanan, because he is 20 years old and 71 rated already, so he's got a pretty good future ahead of him. So we've got a youth player terminate his contract, but again, I'm not that fussed about them, to be frankly honest. They're not really that important to me. One thing we could do actually is loan out a few players, the likes of this youth player, maybe cash in Hutchinson and maybe Duncan and Watson. Yeah, I think we will loan list a few of those because they're not really getting any game time at the minute, which is of course a bit of a shame. Don't have any information yet regarding value and weekly wages, and that's probably what we need to really get before we can put an offer in for one of those players. But yeah, as I said, if we just loan list all the players that are like under 60 rated, then that'll be good. Right, into our first FA Cup game in the season then, against Barnsley, of course, Daryl DK's former team, so it's a good little test against a former team for him. But we did actually go to the 4-2-3-1, so I think it makes a lot more sense now that we've got this focal point. Of course, if we get the extra striker, he can just come off the bench and be an impact player. Obviously, Stretton, he's not... I don't know, he's an interesting one. He's 21. He's 20 years old and 63 rated. Ideally, I want to get him as close as possible to 70 by the end of the season. And if not, it's going to be one of those where it might be a case of looking for a better long-term striker, because at the minute, he's just not developed as much as I'd like him to. But it's been a tricky season with not many goals so far. But yeah, I think it makes a lot more sense defensively as well, because of course Byrne and Buchanan are of course fullbacks. So it'll be interesting to see how Flores and Bielik do in the middle as well. Here we are then at Pride Park. Let's have a look at their team. We have actually made a few changes, just so because it is a cup game, of course. Brought in Jason Knight and Festi Eberselli at right back. I could have probably put Baz in goal, but I thought I'd just keep Reece, just to keep some level of consistency. But they are playing a 5-2-3, which we do tend to struggle against, the five at the backs, but they've got some rather low rated players at 50, 56, 59. So realistically, we should be winning this and going through to the next round. Chance here for Joswiak. Can we get the first goal? And there we go. It goes, pretty much powers it straight into the keeper, and luckily goes into the back of the net to make it 1-0. Good start in the game. I don't know if it's better to have him on the right or the left. Of course, again, it's like, what is he, like 21, 22, 74 rated already. Should get towards the 80 mark, hopefully by the end of the season. But yeah, maybe the keeper could have done a little bit better there, but I'll take it. I think it is a pretty poor keeper today. But yeah, it kind of just went through him. Ball into Joswiak. Can DK get on the end of it? He has, but the keeper does make a very good save to put it out for a corner. Do ideally need to get that second goal just to kind of secure the game. Can get it from the corner. There we go, there's full time against Barnsley. We do narrowly win 1-0. We kept the clean sheet, of course, but yeah, there wasn't really much. A few saves from Volta, but not really anything major. It was mainly just crosses into the box, and that was probably the best save the keeper did make. Yeah, maybe he could have scored this one here with... probably should have low-driven that into the bottom left, but yeah, I think we just... we're getting in the right direction. It's just still very difficult to get those goals. So we do have a double derby back-to-back. We do have Nottingham Forest away, and then we got Leeds in the FA Cup, which is actually a decent draw. You know, they're not the most amazing Premier League team, but they're still quite decent, so it'll be a good little test at home against our rivals, of course. But yeah, just looking at the team, I think I will go to the 4-2-3-1, just because it kind of accommodates better in terms of both defensively and going forwards, really. So we do actually have the values here for the players that we are looking at, of course, and I think realistically going for the fastest makes a lot of sense. I'm pretty sure Ricky J. Jones, yeah, he's very fast, and it makes the most sense because he is a Championship player already. But ideally, I want to go for somebody on loan. I think that might be the best way to do it, really. I don't know if... Yeah, Delap's actually faster than Scarlett, even though he's taller. Which is quite interesting. It kind of makes sense to go for Liam Delap as well, since he was a youth player here a few years ago. So we'll go approach him to loan with an option to buy and see what we can do. I know he is quite... Well, he's kind of like... In a way, if we're going to be playing the one-striker formation, it makes sense to go for Delap. Obviously, a two-year would be ideal. Cool. Maybe try and get City to pay some of those wages. Oh, so they're happy with a 40-60, which is nice to see. I think if I just go for a 2 million transfer sum, because his value is 1.9 anyway, so I think it makes sense. Yeah, we'll just go for 2 mil. See what they come back with, and obviously I don't want to annoy them and make the deal fall through. And there we go, Liam Delap in. That was rather easy. Obviously we've got to wait and see whether he wants to join as well. A little part of me does want to go for someone like Andy Vyman. I know he's 30, but he'd do a very good job at what I need him to do, because he's only 5'10". Because I do kind of need a bit more of a nimble attacker, but maybe going for this Mabimbi would make more logical sense, since he is 10 years younger and actually faster. We'll see if we can get him on a loan as well. Not wanting to do... They actually want some quite high wage percentage in our half. They wanted like 70% for us, so at least I know now how much he is. And of course we can just wait for Liam Delap to come back, so we'll wait for that for the time being. Harry Wilson's actually the top goal scorer in the league, which is a midfielder, which is quite interesting. Used to play for Derby, of course. Not a single Derby player on there. We do have quite a few assists with Shinny and Joswiak. Yeah, in terms of goals, we've got Sibley and Lawrence on 4. So, kind of does show that, you know, after 2 games, Daryl DK's already got basically nearly what our top goal scorer's got so far. So yeah, let's go into the next game against Sheffield United. Is going to be a tough one since they are top of the table. And of course, we ideally need to win this game. And if we do win, we can actually move up all the way up to 17th. So, could be quite beneficial. Right, here we are against Sheffield United. Gone for Morrison in the cam position, because of course he did used to play for Sheffield United and many other teams. They do actually have St Tossen up front. Malcolm Gibbs-White, Horahan and Norwood. They've got... Is Horahan there? Yeah, because he's technically at Villa, but on loan at Sheffield United because he was at Swansea last season. But yeah, they've got Jayden Bogle at right wing back, of course, former Derby player. And again, like the 5 at the backs, we do tend to struggle against to score goals because, of course, there are so many, essentially 8 defenders and 2 attackers. So we do tend to struggle. These games are quite tight. We'll just use the finesse shot meta. That's how we'll start off this game against his former club. It is a really good finesse, to be fair, but I don't know. It's one of them where it's like I am just abusing mechanics at this point, but if I can get a goal, I'll get a goal. Good little run down the wing from Lawrence, and then yeah. That's a good ball. It's gone into the middle, and it is into the back of the net from St. Tossen to make it 1-1. Very quick reply for them, pretty much their first attack, and tried to tackle him, but I just couldn't get the ball. Good little heel-to-heel from McGoldrick, but yeah, did put in the tackle with Flores, but yeah, didn't quite get the man. It's a good ball into Josviak. Can he do a goal just like he did against Barnsley? Not with that kind of finishing. Can't win this header. Oh, it's a great header, but a great save from, I think it's Robin Olsen, the Swedish goalkeeper, isn't it? Oh, that's a good tackle from DK. Defender caught napping. Can he get the finish, though? Off the bar. There we go, there's full time. We do take the point against top of the league, of course. Maybe we have moved out of the bottom 3, which will just help out morale a little bit. But, yeah, other than the 2 goals in the first 10 minutes, there wasn't that much. But a few decent saves, especially from Robin Olsen. I think this one from D... Nah, maybe not. There's another one where basically... Yeah, just not on the highlights there, but probably will be in the video anyway. So Liam Delap's turned down the offer, which I'm a bit surprised at, to be frankly honest. Right, so since we can't get Liam Delap, I guess we go for... See, I'd like to get Ricky J. Jones, but I don't think... No, you'd have to straight up buy him. He does have the pace, which I do like. Not bad finishing as well at 60, at least 60 finishing. Yeah, but you can't get Mabimbi at the minute. Just see what kind of similar stats to Ricky, to be fair. I do like Mabimbi as well because he can actually play, anywhere. You can play out wide as well, rather than just being a striker. So I think I'll go for Dane Scarlett. The only thing about Dane Scarlett is maybe he's better on the ball though, isn't he? Yeah, quite good jumping. Finishing's quite decent. And he has got the flair trait, so we'll have a go. Or not. Don't know what to do really. Yeah. So the thing is with these youngsters, you've got a low value, but I think the if you go negotiate, they'll be more towards 2 million than the 1 million, but maybe we'll get lucky. Actually, we could actually put like Baldock or... Yeah, let's put Baldock in, plus whatever. I'm trying to think what's a good amount. 700k? Go for something like that, because then of course we save the wages of Baldock and save a bit of money as well in regard to the deal, but they do want Graham Shinney, which we won't be doing. To be honest, Bobby Duncan's not a bad shout. If I throw in like 300k, they might be happy to accept that. No, they just want 900k, which is actually under his value by nearly 200,000. So we can get it to like 850 on the dot. And I don't mind that at all, because we still got another 800,000 to potentially do another deal. I'll move this sell-on clause. So I think I'm just going to accept that at 860. It's under value for a 19-year-old striker with 90 plus pace. I think that's ticking most of the boxes that we need. Does have the speed dribbler, which is absolutely useless to me because it's a CPU trait. The only thing is we don't actually know his current wage, so I'm not 100% sure what to offer him. Hopefully he comes in with the amount. Now this is where we could mess things up. I think I might go 3. and then a 50k. That sounds about right. I'm trying to think what's... I might just go 4. We'll go 3.5. Hopefully that's enough. I'm just hoping this doesn't offend him. Here we go, okay. I'm not, like... Because I'm doing, like, 3 different career modes at once, I'm also doing a creator club with Matlock Town down in League 2. I'm doing a Newcastle Saudi takeover as well. Like, trying to remember all the wages for different leagues and calibre of players is quite difficult. Yeah, if you haven't checked out the series over on Facebook, then make sure you do. You know, we're doing quite well with both the Creator Club and the Newcastle Takeover, both very different career modes. Maybe I did give him a little... I don't know, maybe I didn't. Because Stretton's on 3k. And how much of a... Yeah, basically the same as Stretton, but has pace, so... The only thing about him is he doesn't have a dynamic image, but he's got 92 pace, so I'm not going to complain. I think it's just nice to have that option off the bench. Very good agility as well. We will go into the development plan for him just so that we get him on the right track. So I think in terms of signings for this window, I'm probably finished now because we've got quite a few youngsters anyway that we could potentially use. So I think we're going to probably look towards pre-contract signings for next season, because you do actually get a lot better value for money. You know, you wait in 6 months. But I think regarding staying up, we should be okay now. We have just moved out of the relegation zone by a point, and it's unlikely that we're going to get into those playoffs positions. So there's not really much point in investing for this season. So with the remaining whatever, just under 800,000 and 20k wages, I think I will just look to get pre-contracts for next season, because then we could look to just get a better team long term. That's probably the goal. So let me know any pre-contracts that you can look to sign. I know there's like players like Mkhitaryan and Ilicic that you can get, but unlikely to sign for Derby, of course. But there's definitely some good ones out there to potentially pick up. So yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this episode. Leave a like if you did, and check out the Facebook videos as well, and see you later.